Hi, I'm Debbie, and thank you so much for spending some time with me. I remember when the Berlin Wall came down, and what a momentous lesson that was in my AP European history classes. However, the further away we have gotten from the fall of European communism, the less that both young and old seem to know or care about the effects of communism, socialism, or a command economy upon the majority of citizens of those nations that were and are socialists. Instead, many people believe that countries like Sweden are socialist economies and point to the standard of living those citizens experience. And that is just not so. Sweden does not have a socialist or command economy. It has what we call a mixed economy, one that has private property and businesses, along with government economic planning and a provision of public services for which the citizens are heavily taxed. It is not an economy in which the government owns all the means of production and controls all the production. But that is not what many activists are looking at. After all, why let evidence and facts get in the way of demands for redistribution of wealth and the end of private property and ownership? If one wants to know what a socialist or command economy and society looks like, then look historically to the Soviet Union and other Eastern European nations, or look at the current status within socialist states today, including the mind-boggling overturn of the once prosperous Venezuelan society and economy. As of 2021, 94% of Venezuelans live in poverty, with 76% living in extreme poverty, according to a study conducted by Andres Bello Catholic University. From 1985 to today, there has been an overall inflation rate of 399.99%, while in 2020, there was an annual inflation rate of over 2,000, which followed the unbelievable rate of inflation of over 65,000% in 2019. Many Venezuelans, if not most, who could afford to do so, moved out of the country, while those who had to remain primarily did so because they could not afford to go elsewhere. When I traveled between West and East Berlin in 1987, it was amazing to see and experience the differences in the standard of living between two sides of the same city. And yes, it was due to the differing economic, social, and political systems. Free market mixed economy of the West versus the socialist central planned government of the East. When my mom and I traveled to Poland before the fall of European communism and socialism, I could hardly believe what I saw, which is best summarized by the fact that many Poles tied cardboard to the bottom of their shoes because of the wear and tear, along with the lack of availability of shoes, along with other consumer goods. Lack of food, housing, consumer goods, etc., are all associated with a true socialist or command economy. Unfortunately, many people believe that a redistribution of wealth comes with a higher standard of living for all. But the reverse is actually the truth. Elites of any economic system will always have wealth and options. It's the vast majority of the population that suffers and experiences a lowering of the standard of living within a socialist nation. Additionally, the government alone determines what one may buy. And if any of us need an example, all we have to do is look at California prohibiting the sale of new gas-fueled cars by 2035, or the current attempt by cities and states to ban gas stoves and other energy restrictions and regulations. With all of that, why are we experiencing demands from many for the government to have centralized economic planning in order to solely determine what can be produced and what consumers may buy. Why are there calls for the abolition of private property? Interestingly, these demands reflect the policies of the World Economic Forum, which lists you will own nothing and be happy. You will rent what you need from the government. They list that in a series of goals that they hope to achieve, thus clearly demonstrating the economic and social direction that the world's economic elites want for the rest of us. The elites would control every economic and social decision from which they alone will benefit, and the rest of us will be happy. That's what they say. We will be happy with whatever they give to us. And actually, it's the you will be happy part that most scares me, as what will happen to those of us who aren't happy. We are already seeing attempts to directly control what we think and believe through attempts to control school curriculums to reflect what the elites want taught, not necessarily the skills and knowledge required for a well-educated populace. We also see this in the so-called cancel culture, in which if one expresses an opinion or belief in opposition to the popular culture, one can be attacked, fired, or suffer other consequences. Anyway, I apologize for the more negative tone today, but as always, I want us to be encouraged. Please remember, voting matters. Voicing our opinions matters. Prayer matters. Love for others matters. Although the realities of economic trends may bring some anxiety, there is still much around us that brings hope. Are we to care for others and help others? Yeah, we are. Are there many who donate money, goods, and services to help others? Yes. Is there always a light that shines through the darkness? Yes. Even with disheartening news around us, Proverbs 18:10 tells us, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe." No matter what is happening within our nation or within our families, God loves us. I hope that you have a great week this week. And again, thank you for spending time with me. And leave me a comment if you would like. Thank you.